Everybody feel good. Everybody feel good. Everybody feel good. Good morning. It's Friday. Oh, yeah. Everybody feeling good. There we go. Jordan Smith, feel good. Good morning. It's Friday. Hi, Sharon. It's so nice to see you here. Thank you so much. It is Friday. Woohoo! Weekend ahead. Yeah, baby. Yeah, here we are. I am Robin Roberts. I am a certified consulting hypnotist, and I am here Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 10 a.m. And then you can always catch the replay on my timeline here. And I'm doing little snippets of things that we talk about. I'm putting it out on all social media. I'd love for you to check that out. But why are we here today? Well, today we are talking about clue. A clue. A clue. And that is not the game, unless you want to talk about clues in the game of life. That's right, the game of life, because that's what we're talking about every day, right? All right, I wanted to start by sharing a little bit about me. Why? Because it relates to the story. And that is, I love to read. I love to read. I have loved to read since I was little. I am the kid under the cover with the flashlight, reading the book and hiding it if my parents came near my room. And then when I knew I was safe again, I would be reading again. And who was my favorite then? Well, of course, Nancy Drew. Yes, that bold, smart woman who solved mysteries. Love to read. I spent a lot of time, obviously, reading. And it was my favorite thing to find a place, some place other than my bed when it was bedtime, but during the day to curl up and get a book and just read and read and read. And I really did like mysteries. It's kind of a funny thing. I've always liked mysteries. My mom can't stand them, and she's a big reader too. And I'm like, wow, I don't know how we are completely opposite in that way, but we are. And what I love about books is everything. Everything. For the person out there who is the book lover, you know what I mean. The smell of a book. When I was 14, I volunteered in the library. Oh my gosh. I just loved the books and putting them back, and a new book. And one year for Mother's Day, my kids, what did I want for Mother's Day? We spent the afternoon at Barnes and Noble, sitting in the chair and looking at this book and looking at that book. And it was heaven. Well, here's the cool thing about books, and specifically mysteries, although it's true in any book. When you read, and as you read along, when the writer's a good writer, they are leaving you clues. They're leaving you clues, and you don't even know it. And that's what's so cool. So you're reading and you're thinking, wow, there's such detail. I can really see, feel, hear this place. Remember, we talked about that the other day, how you imagine. So however you imagine, you're like, oh, I'm right in this book, and I get all the details, and I think this author is great because I am getting all the details of this story. And then as you move through the story, especially if it's a mystery, but other ones too, you begin to see that something that was written 100 pages ago was absolutely crucial to what is going on now in the book. And at the time that it was read, it was just read as, I'm going through it and I'm reading it and I'm absorbing it and moving forward. And yet there's such satisfaction when you go, aha, now I know what that meant. So as I was getting ready to do this today, I was thinking about how that is like life. I was thinking about how we go through our days and we see things around us. Of course, there's a lot more that we don't observe than that we do. But we just think, oh, that's normal and this is normal. And then somewhere down the road, you realize how special that moment was. And you realize that it helped form you. And it kind of takes your breath away for a moment to realize that something that seemed so incidental was so formative. Think back. Think back to being 10 or 11 or 12 and something that seemed such a part of your life, you didn't pay any attention, but even today, even now, it has informed you in what you do. And when I was thinking about this, I thought of a funny one. I was in 5th grade and we had to write letters to every state in the Union, and each of us wrote 2 or 3 letters. I can't remember how many kids were in the class. And we were asking them for the rock of that state. And for example, talc was a rock or a mineral or whatever from Vermont. I had to write the letter. And I wrote the letter so carefully. It was a writing lesson and a letter lesson, all these things rolled into one. And I carefully addressed the envelope and I proudly gave it to my teacher. And she said, Robin, we never address letters in red ink. Can you believe all these years later, we won't say how many, all these years later, I still remember that, because red ink would give them the message of something wrong or something urgent or something rude. I mean, that was what she told me, and that has stayed with me all my life. I mean, is it life-shattering? Probably not, but it's definitely something I remember, and it's definitely something I never do. Never do. Such a little thing, right? And yet it stays with you. So what I'm asking today, the rhetorical question that I would like you to ponder upon is, what clue are you living your life by that you maybe didn't even really realize? Just take a minute, maybe not right this minute, but at some point, and stop and let yourself settle a little bit and go back somewhere 10, 11, 12 and experience a moment that seemed pretty average. Maybe it was sitting at your desk in school, playing on the field with your team, around the dinner table with your family. And think, what memory comes up? And I just had a memory that I'll leave you with this. I was in high school and I was at my boyfriend's family's house for dinner. And we were saying the prayer before dinner. And they said a prayer in gratitude for all the wonderful things that had happened in the day. And then they said, thank you for all the not so wonderful things that happened today, because they were gifts and blessings as well. That changed my life. That one little moment changed my life, because I now, instead of wanting to hide from the things that don't go well, you just say thank you. Even when you're not even sure what that gift or blessing is, thank you. I'll figure it out. I got it. I'll figure it out. And embrace it. So I ask you, what clue were you given that is forming you today? And do you want to embrace it even more deeply? Like being grateful even for the crummy stuff? Or do you want to say, wow, that's really interesting and I never really thought about that, and it doesn't need to help form me anymore, and you can let it go. But look for the clues in your life because they're there. Because if a wonderful writer can leave clues, think about the clues that the Creator has left for you in your life. That's what I got for you on this Friday. I hope that you have an amazing weekend. I'm going to get my song all lined up here. Yep, still working on the technology, people, still working on it. But I am ready to sign out. Thank you for being here. Let me take a moment. Carla, Carolyn Smith, hey girl. Kelly, thank you, Kelly. David, thank you very much for being here. And excuse me, getting all the clumped here. I'm sorry, that's probably sniffing is terrible. Okay, again, as I say, I'm learning. Here we go. It is Friday, and everybody. So everybody feel good. Everybody feel good. Everybody feel good. Have a great weekend. Look for the clues in your life. Leave comments. Tell me. Share this. I love you. Thank you for being here. I will see you Monday, 10 a.m. after having an amazing weekend. You too. Hallelujah. Oh, yeah.